Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 1,969-piece limited edition launched in 2010. This is the Zenith El Primero Striking 10th. It uses the Chronomaster case and the A386 dial design to deal equal parts in modern tech and spec and nostalgia. Now, the watch has a lovely profile in stainless steel, 42 millimeters in diameter, and it measures 13 millimeters thick by 50.2 millimeters lug-to-lug with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll zoom out a little bit, throw this watch on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see it's a good fit, though it does have a blockish case that looks fairly massive. As a result, I recommend it for a wrist no smaller than 15 centimeters circumference, but it's not terribly thick, and it has a stepped case flank with a box section sapphire, so it should slide underneath a cuff fairly easily. Taking a quick look at the strap, you can see on the top it's large rectangular scale alligator leather. It is a semi-gloss dark black with a monotone stitch, and it has a folded edge. On the underside, it has a rubber inlay, which is a pleasing feature of modern Zenith straps. It means that it's supple against the wrist, and it isolates the leather, the alligator in this case, from the oil, sweat, heat, moisture, and grit of the wrist. So as long as you don't submerge it, this will be a very long-lasting strap. There's a little bit of bolstering to give it volume, but it's not terribly thick, not awkwardly thick to the point that it becomes stiff. The buckle is a double deployant clasp, and you can see it is a trigger-actuated deployant clasp. The swing arm contains springs, so you need to press both triggers to open it. It cannot fly open willy-nilly. And if you look at the attention to detail, they're using little ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps so that the tolerances remain tight and snappy over time because the steel cannot aggress against the ceramic. Externally, it's satinated and polished, so attention to detail here is strong. Taking a look at the case, this is the case that we've come to know as the Chronomaster case in recent years. It has a polished case flank, a little bit of a transitional bevel stamped into its side, and then the lug hoods are satin finished, and then it has a little bit of a ducktail undertuck to it, and the undertucked facet is polished and flattened off. The case flank includes vintage-inspired pump-style pushers and a crown with the Zenith logo. There's a little recess underneath the crown that makes it easier to dig your nail in to pull it out for setting, which is a wonderful refinement, and there are many of them, thoughtful touches on this watch. Now, this is the Striking 10th, which means it makes it easier to read the fractions of a second. Since it became the first automatic integrated high-beat chronograph movement in 1969, the El Primero, unless in Rolex service, has always beat at 10 beats per second. But when you're looking at the calibrations of seconds on a standard dial, the fractions are so small that they're hard to read. So the Striking 10th makes it easy to read the fractions by expanding an interval of 10 seconds over 360 degrees the dial. So you can see right there, we have 8 seconds and 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. It's that simple. That is what the Striking 10th does. It makes it easier to read to the chronograph's full potential resolution of 1/10 of a second. It's also spectacular. Foudroyant, or lightning seconds hand, certainly suits the appearance. Now, the dial features a couple of concentric scales. Outboard, there's the brushed metallic of the 10-second scale, blackened inboard for reading your minutes, and then we have a silver sunburst center with overlapping registers in tritone gray, black, and blue. You can see that all the indices are steel, rhodium plated like the hands. They're rhodium plated to be shiny in contrast. The watch is well loomed. Let's do a loom shot. Now you can see that the watch, because it does have a little bit of an unconventional aesthetic to it, it has this 10-second register outboard, it has a 60-second register at 3 o'clock, and then it has a minutes register down at 6 o'clock. So you don't have an hour register here. Let me move, oops. Point of advice, folks, when you pull an El Primero out all the way, that's the date quick set. So you want to get the intermediate position and you can see if I move the hands out of the way, the minutes register actually reads up to 60, which makes it more useful than a standard 30-minute register, which is common in luxury watches. Now, I already gave the game away a little bit, but there is a quick set for this movement, though El Primeros traditionally do not include hacking seconds, and this does not have that feature. Taking a quick look at the reverse side, you appreciate that there's a lot going on. There is a 100-tooth wheel in silicon that operates the striking 10th mechanism, and that's the heart of the striking 10th. The movement otherwise, and this is caliber 4052, is much like a standard El Primero 4000 caliber. So it's automatic winding, bidirectional action, 31 joules. It beats away at 36,000 vibrations per hour, so it has a high beat rate when you listen to it. It has the quick set system, but not hacking seconds, and it uses a column wheel and a lateral clutch, considered to be the connoisseur's preference. You can see the column wheel. It's crisp both to the finger and to the ear. All of this is water resistant, by the way, down to 100 meters, so it is a swimmable watch if you put it on the right strap. And you can see how the system operates. You have a lateral clutch that engages directly with the striking 10th complication, and you can see that there are two different levels to the striking 10th wheel. One of them drives the striking 10th mechanism hand, and then the other one drives the 60-second register. So if you're wondering how all of that works, that is how it works. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.